At the height of the Cold War, two men in dark suits and shades walked into the San Francisco antique store that James Waste had opened after a successful international career with Bechtel. Their mission? To ask Mr. Waste to serve as an observer for the CIA.
One of the most exciting things that happened to me early on was I was asked to go be a member of a committee. I guess it's an investigating committee. There's about 8 Americans who were asked to go to Chernobyl. And this is about 3 months after Chernobyl incident happened, and it was awful. You can imagine. I won't get into all the details, but we arrived in Kiev and we were driven out in a special bus, wearing special clothes. We were taken into the town of Pripyat. Pripyat was a town typical of what you see all over Russia, 25,000 people in an industrial area, all decentralized. And Pripyat had shut down. It was a ghost town. I write about it. It was a very frightening experience because in 24 hours all the residents of Pripyat left, and their cars and bicycles and everything were piled up in the town square, and the window curtains were blowing, and the toilets were unflushed, and the food was still on the stove. They had just left. And the ones that didn't leave eventually were to die because they were there cleaning up the mess. I've seen industrial damage, I've seen a lot of war damage, but I have never seen anything quite like what happened to the power plant there. Now, something interesting happened. When I came back after this visit, people asked me, that's my debriefers, what I thought of the situation. I'm not a scientist, so I couldn't really comment on some of that. And I kind of rolled a bombshell at them. I said, I don't think it was an accident. And so that raised a few eyebrows. They took me into another room and said, well, wait, why do you say that? And I said, well, it's an accident that could easily happen because I'd been on 2 Bechtel projects where we had a little startup problem, a little puff in the boiler plant, and oops, there's a couple of $1 million. It was kind of like turning the gas on in your stove. It doesn't ignite, and the gas is still running, so you throw another match in, kaboom! And this thing was that simple. If you know anything about running a power plant, it was a mistake ready to be made. Well, the outcome of this situation, Gorbachev and Chernobyl were running the show at the time, and Gorbachev was going to keep it a secret, like, hey, this didn't really happen, but everybody in Europe was already inhaling this stuff. And Shevardnadze insisted that they go public with it. And in about, I guess it was 15 days after the accident, the Russians, for the first time, conducted an open house on the issue, and it was a turning point. I call it, that was the beginning of the end, because at this point the Russians realized, oh, I should add that a young German pilot landed his plane in Red Square. I think he was 19 years old, and as a result they fired the commanding general of the Air Force. But everybody realized it was that easy. You could drop a plane into Red Square and a suitcase bomb and kill a couple of 100,000 people without trying. So the fact that it was 6,500 bombs we had, and they had 6,000 bombs, and the absurdity of a Cold War all of a sudden was apparent to the Russians, to us, to the world, and it was kind of a gift, if you want to look at it that way.
Not as